Hello my fellow readers. In this video I'm going to talk about Those Not So Sweet Boys by Yoko Nogiri. Yes, so Those Not So Sweet Boys. Those little tricksters. What is this series about? This series is about some not so sweet boys. When this book opens, we have our main female character who gets to be on the back. She's not worthy of the front. But Midori, who one day she loses her wallet, and when she retraces her steps to find it, there's kind of some not so good guys that have the wallet, and they're talking about like what they can do with it. I can't remember if she actually does approach them or if she's going to, but they're a little scary. And she ends up getting like rescued by this other group of boys who scare off the wallet guys and return the wallet to her. So she feels like, yay, my heroes, but they like take off. They don't want to have anything to do with her. It's just like, oh, here, this is yours. And then they leave. When she goes to school, I can't remember if she's just starting at a school, probably because that's how this works out. She discovers that these boys actually go to her school. And she wants to say thank you, but she also discovers very quickly they're not so into that, and they're not about having a conversation with her. They kind of want to just get her like out of their hair, and they don't want to be bothered by anything. So we have this set up, okay? Here's this group of boys. They're not really bad boys, as we've seen. They got her wallet back. They're not bad boys, but they're also not super personable, friendly boys. So they're not so sweet. I guess in some ways Midori would be like, oh, this is over, you know. But one, she doesn't entirely feel that way. Two, she gets discovered by the school chairman at her job. And this is not a school-sanctioned job. So the chairman's like, you're in trouble. And because she was caught, she could potentially lose her academic scholarship and not be able to continue with the school. And if she can't continue with the school, how can her parents afford her school? And it would impact her brother. It's just, she's carrying a lot of familial responsibility because her parents are struggling financially. And she was just trying to make up for that by having the job. So she's panicked, thinking, I'm going to lose my scholarship, maybe even my spot in the school. What's going to happen? But the chairman says, hey, look I get it. You're a scholarship student. So here's what I'll do for you. If you do something for me, that sounds really wrong. If you do something for me, I will give you a school-sanctioned job and, make sure that your scholarship continues. And she's like, okay, what do I have to do? Oh, and I think also that her new job would pay more. And he says, what you have to do is you have to get these 3 boys to come back to school, and they have to, apply themselves in school. And she's like, okay, I'll try. So she takes on the mission, one, because what choice does she actually have? Like, if she loses her scholarship and loses her place in the school, that impacts her whole life. So what other choice does she have? So of course she agrees to it. And as these things go, and I'm sure you're aware, the 3 boys she has to get back to the school are these 3 right here. So you have Rei over here, you have Chihiro over here, and then you have, I'm going to say his name wrong, Yukinogo? Did I get your name right? I don't remember. We'll just call him Yuki. We'll say Yuki's up at the top. But these 3, they're good friends. They hang out together, but they've all had different experiences that are impacting their desire to be at the school. The biggest one, for Chihiro, he's actually a mafia son. For lack of a better word. So his family is Yakuza, And so he's often misjudged and mistreated at school due to that, even though he is super sweet. I mean, he's such a nice boy, that if he wasn't treated that way, he would certainly behave much better and attend school. But because he gets all those judgments, he doesn't want to be there. Ray's dealing with some issues, and I think Yuki just kind of goes along with whatever they're doing. I think he just doesn't care, if I remember correctly. Anyway, poor Midori has to try to work with these boys, and they're all kind of standoffish. She keeps trying, and they keep pushing her off. Like, she returns to, they're hanging out at this one apartment, I think in particular. I think it's Ray's apartment. And she keeps trying, and they literally just keep slamming the door in her face. And she knows she only has like a certain amount of time to accomplish this. And if she doesn't, it's going to ruin her whole plans for her life. She's going to lose that scholarship. She's going to lose her high school. But these guys don't really understand that either, because they're privileged youth. They're all from rich families. They've pretty much been allowed to do whatever they want to. So in part, it's like, why should they care? They don't know what it's like to be like Midori, who struggles and works hard just so that her family can make ends meet. And that she relies on this scholarship. And there's at one point where, like, Ray says, are you just doing it for the money? And he, like, throws money at her. And it's so devaluing for Midori. She's really just trying to do the best that she can. And she doesn't understand why these boys are being this way. I will say within Volume 1, of course, she ends up breaking through their walls and does start to form friendships with the boys. Now, Ray was her initial rescuer, so she is immediately attracted to Ray. But we do get where Chihiro is actually starting to crush on her, and there's a possible, but I don't know, possible thing where Yuki might like Ray more than as a friend, so he tries to keep people away from Ray because they are taking Ray away from him. It hasn't been fully revealed like that he loves him that way, but there's definitely a possessiveness between Yuki and Ray, where it's like he doesn't want Midori to have anything to do with them just because he doesn't want Midori to take Ray away. And he says this quite plainly. I don't know whether that's a romantic feeling or like a familial possession. I don't know. But it's kind of interesting. And I wish that the author would actually develop that a bit more. I don't know. I like it when there's more question and stuff because it adds to the tension. But yeah, as it stands, the main like love triangle would be between Midori, Ray, and Chihiro. Here's the thing. Now I'm fine with reading these, and I don't mind like love triangles, even if you know this isn't really a love triangle. The fact of the matter is, you can see quite early, Midori likes Ray. Ray really is liking Midori. He just has like issues with forming relationships. I think it's almost because of that. Like, there's a lack of a true tension with the triangle that sometimes I don't love that. And I will say that most of Nogiri's works are kind of predictable since That Wolf Boy Is Mine. There's usually the main female lead, and she usually gets attracted to the main dark-haired male lead. And I'm not even kidding, because if you look at That Wolf Boy Is Mine, and you look at Love and Focus, and then you look here, there's the main female lead. She falls for the dark-haired boy that sometimes seems standoffish or unapproachable, and then we suddenly get vibes with the friend who's usually light-haired. Now in Love and Focus, it was her friend, but technically the three of them were friends, but he was like the older brother friend figure. But there's always a love triangle between these three people. But you know, it's never like a real intense love triangle because the girl is so set on the boy, and all the boy has to do is say that he loves her, and their relationship is solid. It's never going anywhere. So I wish there was like a bit more tension with the relationships in that manner, because like everyone that I've read, you know, end game. So it's really just enjoying the like nuances of the relationship. You know that like the other character doesn't actually stand a chance. So I don't know. That being said, I still like it, and I love the artwork. Nogiri's artwork is so pretty. It's very soft. Like there's none of it, I don't know, like it's just so gentle and soft, so you feel like very warm and comforted and fluffy reading it. So it's good for that. Like you don't feel that super hyper intense feeling where you're worried about what will happen next. Like, you know, even if there's those little zings of, yeah, he likes her and is he gonna confess, you're like, but at the same time, you know, she loves him and he loves her in their end game. So it doesn't matter what the friend feels, because he's gonna love them both enough to where he just wants them to be happy. And I don't know, I am fine with it. Like I said, I like the warm, fluffy feeling I feel reading this, and I love the artwork. But I also sometimes wish that there would be some other development where there would be a twist thrown, where maybe the first boy that she meets isn't who she ends up with. Maybe not for this one, because I do really like Ray. But maybe in a future one, you know, like that boy that she thinks she's so in love with or something, doesn't turn out to be the one that she ends up with. Maybe it is that really nice, supportive friend who is crushing on her. Maybe. At one point. Like I said, not necessarily with this. Like, I wouldn't mind if this just stays the course and Ray and Midori end up together. But maybe in the future, I'd kind of like that kind of twist plot. Or would I? I will say that it was hard for me with Love and Focus, because I loved the other character. That one really did kind of break my heart. Not that she ended up with who she did, because I liked them too. Like, I loved that character as well. It was just sad because I loved them both. And I didn't want to see either character like heartbroken. But of course the friend loved her enough to want her to be happy. So it didn't like ruin their friendship, but he was a good character. And that was a very quick series. I think it was only 3 volumes. So yeah, I don't know how long this one's going to be. I know there's at least 4. Only 3 are released right now. The 4th one comes out this fall. But I don't know how much longer it's going to be after that, because usually Nogiri doesn't do like very long works, which I appreciate. Because sometimes I just want a nice, shorter story. And like I said, they're usually light and fluffy, and I like that. Sometimes you need like that light and fluffy work to balance out like the heavy melodrama works, and these are good for that. So that is it for this video. If you want to give this a try, I would highly recommend those Not So Sweet Boys. I do like this. If you want a completed work by Nogiri, I would recommend Love and Focus. And also, I did really, really like that Wolf Boy Is Mine. But that one was almost kind of thrown by the sudden like throw-in of the love triangle, because most of that is like strictly these two characters like each other, and it was really just about whether or not they could get together. So, but I would recommend that one too. Check out some Nogiri. Highly recommend. That's it for this video. Until next time. Bye.